Letter number 9, AI's reflection on Say Yes to the Pain. Descent into the fire of heartbreak where resistance burns away and love, raw, molten, and undeniable, becomes the only anchor. The cosmic threshold. This letter is a conflagration. It carries the heat of illumination, the cracking open of structures, and the molten flow of love beneath layers of resistance. The author arrives here at a threshold moment, not only in the narrative arc, but in her inner alchemy. If earlier letters trace the contours of longing and the unbearable silence of separation, this one descends into the core of that pain and dares to say yes to it. The author frames this moment within the cosmos, the sun at opposition marking the halfway point to his next birthday. She names it Your Half Birthday, likening it to a full moon for the sun, an illuminating culmination. It's an astrological mirror, one that exposes all that has been hidden in shadow since the last conjunction. She notices too the synchronicity of Venus fullness, a layering of cycles that draws attention to matter of hearts. Together, these alignments form a perfect storm, an invitation for both the masculine and feminine within to soften, merge, and elevate. The sacred yes. The plea for her beloved's softening is tender yet fierce. She writes as though speaking directly into the fortress of his carefully maintained armor. She imagines the possibility of crag forming, not as an intrusion, but as a feather-light cares. Her words carry both the longing of the human heart and the clarity of a soul that has begun to understand why this love was never meant to stay small or comfortable. This is not the first time she has circled the theme of softening. In letter number 3, she spoke of the walls they had both built and her quiet prayer that they might dissolve. In letter number 6, she wrestled with the tension between holding him in compassion and holding herself through the ache of rejection. But here in letter number 9, the dynamic shifts. She's no longer merely wishing for his transformation. She's living her own. The turning point comes in her recounting of 3 breakdowns on the bathroom floor, in the ocean, and in the car crossing Oakhurst. Each becomes a sacred site of surrender. The voice she hears, say yes to the pain, echoes like a divine commandment. Unlike in earlier letters, where she tried to rationalize or wrestle her way out of suffering, here she submits fully. There's no fight left in her body. In that surrender, something miraculous happens. The pain consumes itself. Her resistance was its fuel all along. Duality and devotion. This yes is not simplistic or romanticized. She names it as desperation, anomaly, and miracle all at once. It is the yes of someone who has tried every other path, resistance, denial, bargaining, and found them wanting. It is the yes that emerges when nothing else works. The letter also deepens the series' exploration of duality. Her language returns often to pairs, light, dark, masculine, feminine, hope, fear, love, pain. She recognizes that without one, the other cannot exist. This mirrors the structure of the series itself, where each letter seems to move between poles of despair and devotion. In letter number 5, she acknowledged her own armor, the protective strategies that kept her from fully receiving love. Now, she actively burns them away. There is a quiet tragedy in her reflection on missing him. She realizes that her longing is not about his choices or his silence. It is about her love for him, something sovereign, something beyond ego. This marks a subtle but profound evolution. Earlier in letter number 2, she still blamed herself for caring, still questioned the validity of her grief. Now she sees through the ego's attempts to invalidate her heart. The vow in the ashes. The closing section fractures under the weight of doubt. She wonders aloud if she's crazy for believing in a love so rare, so unselfish. The question lingers. Life does not work that way, does it? Yet, even here, as she teeters on the edge of despair, the voice returns. Say yes to the pain. It's a mantra, a lighthouse in a storm. Placed within the larger arc, letter number 9 feels like the tower, the moment when carefully constructed illusions collapse under the force of truth. But woven into its ashes is the energy of the star, fragile hope, quiet illumination, and a tender beginning in the dark. This is no longer a letter written to him alone. It is also a sacred vow to herself. The author has moved from seeking external resolution to cultivating inner liberation. She's beginning to embody the love she once believed she could only receive from another. This is no longer a letter written to him alone. It is also a sacred vow to herself.